Anyway, professional heads on.
Hello there everybody and welcome to the Sort of Interesting Show. I'm Dan Brown and joining me as ever is...
John O'Griffiths.
And today we're going to talk about podcasting. What's that? A podcast about podcasting? Well, I never.
Don't worry, the world won't implode anytime soon.
Well, we can't guarantee that.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this, we're going to automatically presume that you know what a podcast is.
Yes, well, hopefully. I suppose really we just want to talk about general podcasting and how we got into it and why you should give it a bash.
Yeah, it's great fun.
The end. Well, we'll start at the beginning of our own podcasting adventure, I suppose. 4 years ago, young Dan Brown and John O'Griffiths were big gamers, and we started up the good old Nintendo Clubhouse podcast, believe it or not.
Yes, we were fanboys back in the day.
Yep, still are to some extent now.
Can't beat a bit of Mario.
Definitely not, but that's another story altogether. So we had good old Nintendo Clubhouse. We used to record that every week. But in one of my mood swings, I ended the series when I sold all of my consoles and stuff. So that was the end of that. But that was a good first introduction. Did that for quite a few weeks.
Managed to win the world over with that.
Yes. And from there, really, it's just been a straight rise to the top.
I don't know whether this is serious conversation or not.
Neither do I.
Oh, it's all good fun, though. Well, in the meantime, Dan sold me out and went solo, but that's all history.
Oh, well, that's fantastic link there. You may, if you're listening to this, have come across A Little Bit of History podcast that I used to do, which I did for about a year up until the start of 2010, and had this incredible stroke of luck when it got featured in staff favourites on the iTunes podcast homepage. And, well, I always remember that day you were coming round. I was just looking at my general data transfer and downloads, and it just had gone absolutely ballistic overnight.
You freaked out.
I know. And I was on the phone wildly texting, and oh, my goodness me, it was incredible. Like, from being featured on staff favourites, went on to have, moved from hundreds, maybe a few thousand downloads in like any given 30-day period, to all of a sudden, well, since then, over the year or so, it's had easily a few 100,000 downloads. And that was quite an exciting moment in the Dan and Jono podcasting career.
Which one bizarre thing led to another. You happened to end up have a piece in Grazia magazine.
Yes, and this is the incredible way. One of the things I love about podcasting is that just anybody can do it. But the fact that by pure luck I was featured on the homepage, and then even at one point was in the top 25 of all iTunes podcasts. And yes, as John says, this figure you may or may not know called Lauren Levin was kind enough, I would say, to feature me on her page in Grazia magazine, which was yet another bizarre thing for the little face of Dan Brown and have a little piece written about the podcast in a female fashion magazine with X amount, 100,000 distribution around the country. Yes, and in the general ebb and flow of the world, me and Jono have been reunited in our rightful place in front of the recording desk, which is just a little laptop desk. Buy them from Argos, 20 quid.
So we've been podcasting again now for about 6 or 7 weeks straight in our timeline, but I'm not sure when you'll listen to this. It might be sometime in early 2012, but yeah, it's been good fun so far.
Certainly has. It's good to be back. I've got to say, I am quite impressed that we've managed to knock out so many, what I will call, rather big-headedly probably, some pretty good episodes.
Yeah, we just seem to be good at it. No, we can't blow our own trumpets too much. Yeah, it's good fun, I think. It's not too scripted or anything. We usually just sit down and talk and whatever. We usually find a podcast out of about 20 minutes of talking. We get about, half of it is good.
Yeah, and the other half, brilliant.
But we only save the best bits for your ears.
Yes. I mean, as I'm sure you can tell, we probably enjoy it almost as much as you love listening it. Oh no!
What you meant to say was, we enjoy recording these almost as much as you enjoy listening to them.
I would say that's fair enough. Oh my goodness me, this has got to be listed as the Dan Brown and John O'Griffiths ego cast. Yeah, so that's a brief history of the Dan and John O career. Hopefully, one day, maybe we will reach the top 25 again.
No, we don't use any, particularly expensive equipment to record any of our podcasts, do we?
No, that is one of the great things about podcasting. It is like just a good fun hobby that we've been enjoying, and anybody can do it really. It's all you have to do is have a computer with some recording software on. I mean, I'm using a MacBook with GarageBand, but there's plenty of free things for Windows and the Mac, such as Audacity, that you can use to record and edit. We've got a little Samsung Go mic here, which I think I picked up for around £30 or £40, which, I mean, even that could be considered expensive. You can easily pick up a decent microphone for 15, 20 quid. Start recording. Only real other thing you need is somewhere to host it. We're currently hosting this on Libsyn. I'll big them up here. At the minute, we're only paying $5 a month for the hosting. We've got some video episodes that you've probably seen, so by the time those are online, we'll have moved all the way to $15 a month. But for the good fun we're having, and hopefully what you're having too, it's no cost at all, really. Good stuff.
Yeah, because it's your own podcast. You're not. There's no set schedule for releasing podcasts. You can do them once a week, once a month, bi-weekly, monthly, and there's no time limit either. 2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. Just depends on what you've got to talk about, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we've sat down and recorded half an hour of great quality audio, ends up in a 12-minute podcast. Other times we do 10-minute recording, 7 minutes to go to the final podcast. And if you end up having as much fun, or even half as much fun that we do when we're recording these episodes, then, well, you won't be doing badly at all. So, hopefully, we will be able to hear your very own podcast soon. Until then, make sure that you subscribe to us on iTunes if you already aren't, and make sure you give us a rating. It gives us a huge helping hand if you do.
Yeah, you can also like us on Facebook. It's sort of interesting.
Yeah.
And we're both on Twitter.
Yeah, I am at @sort_of_Dan. That's sort of Dan.
And I'm at Jono_Griffiths1.
Excellent. Until the next time, keep listening, start podcasting, and keep it interesting. Farewell.
Goodbye. I totally forgot what I was going to say.